Hey everybody, Adam with Hyposphere Media, and this is a very short form / storytelling type video. Usually you see me on here doing new releases, things I've got, and this is kind of that, but not really so much. I have a wonderful editor who goes out of his way to make my videos look as great as possible, but I wanted to get this one up as quick as possible so I could share my story with you. Now, I could go through all of these, and I actually do have a video showing me unboxing this beautiful release here and this beautiful release here I got after that, which is, again, these are vault releases of Poltergeist and The Shining. Now, this is where I share some other information with you. So recently, and I'm trying to find them right now. Let's see here. Yep, there they are. Okay. Recently I picked up these. This is the Pusher trilogy, and this here is the Innkeepers. These are second sight releases. My story starts with these. These I picked up a while ago and were pre-orders from Diabolic DVD. Now, the issue I have is not with Diabolic DVD. Jesse and Diabolic DVD are fantastic. I do a lot of business with them, and I will continue to do business with them. In fact, Diabolic DVD has an option that a lot of you may or may not see. When you go to checkout, there is a route protection that is automatically added to your bill. Now, you can opt out of that. You can absolutely opt out of that. And many times I do. You just uncheck that box and boom, there's no problem with that. And these, I didn't. And that's where this story starts. So when I pre-ordered these together, I didn't think about the fact that they may not come out at the same time. Well, as you know, the Innkeepers came out a month and a half ago. The Pusher trilogy came out within the last few weeks. I'd say probably, 3 weeks ago? So these shipped together back on, I think, September 15th. So I've never had any problems with shipping. These were en route to my house here in Northeast Florida, and en route to my house in Northeast Florida, they usually stop in a town in Georgia. It's a small town in Georgia. That's where I know they'll probably be here the next day or two. However, in this case, they did not stop at that town of Georgia and then subsequently make it here. 3 days went by and I said, you know what? I have not seen any hint in my email inbox like Diabolic does to tell you that, hey, your item is almost there, it's going to be there. Hadn't seen that. So I went and checked the tracking information. The US Postal Service had sent my Diabolic DVD orders to Puerto Rico. Now, I have no idea why they went to Puerto Rico. I'm pretty positive. I wouldn't be foolish in saying that a mistake was made. They usually don't go to Puerto Rico, but they did. And they sat in Puerto Rico. I called the U.S. Postal Service, and you know what? They had no clue why they were in Puerto Rico. In fact, the guy said, a mistake must have been made. Yeah, a mistake must have been made. Because when I asked him, well, not only why are they there, when are they going to get here? He says, well, we don't have a way to contact our local warehouse in Puerto Rico. He said, most likely your box is in a bin waiting to be sorted. I said, you don't have a way to contact your own distribution center in Puerto Rico? And his response was, yeah, it's out there a bit. Now, fair to say Puerto Rico is out there a bit, but I was flabbergasted by the fact they had no idea how to, A, contact the place where these were mistakenly sent, and B, I simply had to wait. So I kind of gave up on these, and I contacted Diabolic, and I said, hey, you know that little route protection I paid $5 for? I might need that. And I got a response back immediately, and they were kind enough in saying that, hey, look, it's still probably not going to be covered under that because it is a third-party company, because they still show en route. I said, they're en route in Puerto Rico. She said, you know what? She says, contact them. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Might be a problem. So I waited, because that made me think they're just going to create more hassle and frustration. I didn't want that. After 2 weeks of sitting in Puerto Rico, these finally made it. And it was literally overnight. It's like somebody said, there they are. And these came in. So remember, folks, we've all have our horror stories with the U.S. Postal Service. This is one of them. do not expect packages from what I understand as the holidays get here, expect packages to maybe incur some delays. Apparently Puerto Rico's in play. My next story. You may have seen this on my in my Instagram or my Facebook. This is the lovely Steelbook box set of Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I could do an unboxing on these, but y'all don't want to see an unboxing on these because, quite frankly, everybody's doing unboxing on these. Hell, there are 15,000 of these made, in which I would guess maybe 3,000 were sold. So you will see more unboxings of these. And these came in pretty good shape. There is a little mark. You can see it right there on top, just a little bit. But again, all in all, smudges be danged. There is a little something there. A scratch on the top, which don't know how it happened, as you can probably, there it is. You can see it on top. But overall, I'm happy I got this because, to be quite frankly, I would take gouges in this compared to what I was told. So again, these were Amazon exclusives. Warner Brothers absolutely screwed the pooch with these because while they're excellent releases, and again, releases of the year, they're beautiful. I'll take one out just so you have something to look at as I'm talking. These were very hard to come by. I made a pre-order of these back in July. The first few hours they were available, and soon after that they went out of stock, came back in stock, and went immediately out of stock again. So with that being said, I'm lucky I got these. I didn't think they would sell out that fast. And hopefully folks have a chance to get either these or the overseas versions, which the differences are. You get the Blu-ray releases, which I already have somewhere on my shelves, with the 4Ks that come with this. So they are more money, but at least you have a chance to own the Steelbook. So my story starts here with this. My birthday was the 29th of September. So I thought in the back of my mind, hey, these come out on the 30th. I might have these the day after release, right? So that was my thought, and happy birthday to me. These cost a lot of money. So I was watching my tracking, and it said arriving Tuesday before they ever shipped. So luckily, they shipped on my birthday, Monday, which was a good thing. So they were supposed to be here Wednesday. So a day after release day, not going to argue with that. It's very nice. But then something happened, like it always does. My package updated from delivery Wednesday to So the day it was supposed to be there, I contacted Amazon and I did it via chat because it's just much easier. And the guy said, "Don't worry, it's going to be there tonight." And I said, "Sir," I said, "it's 9 o'clock at night." "Yes, you have until 10 o'clock. I said, "It's not going to be here at 10 o'clock at night. I know that." He said, "No, I'll make sure of it. You're good." I was like, "So you're telling me it's going to be here this night, on this night, Wednesday, the 31st, at, what was the 31st? I think it was 31st, but Wednesday, last Wednesday. Forgive me, I don't remember if it was, 31st, I think, whatever, I don't care. But yeah, Wednesday, and I said, "It's going to be there." He said, "Yes, I guarantee it, or it could be tomorrow." So, okay. So I put it to bed, went to bed, that's it. The next day, I noticed my tracking had completely reset itself. The trip it took from Texas to a little place in Georgia to Jacksonville, which is 2 towns near me, 2 towns over from me, that all was gone. And the Amazon deleted it. I have screenshots of that, which ironically, you wouldn't know it if you checked up on it after the screenshots I took. That information was deleted. So now I'm really worried. So I chatted with somebody again. They said, "No problem. They'll be there. They're on their way." And the tracking then updated to say it'll be there by October 5th. If not, contact us and get a refund. So I'm like, I know where this is going. So nothing shows up that Thursday. Friday morning, I called somebody at Amazon, and that's where this thing picked up. I was told over the phone that, he goes, "Yeah, oh, I see." I said, "You see what?" He says, "Well, your box set was damaged and destroyed in Jacksonville," because it kept showing my box set updating leaving Jacksonville and coming back to Jacksonville, which meant technically was just kind of just going out the building and going back in. He says, the reason why is we're looking for a replacement. Well, I unfortunately lost my cool. I apologize to the gentleman, but I was irate because this is the third person in Amazon I spoke to, and he's telling me that they damaged my box set. And I said, and every time I would challenge him with a question, he'd put me on a hold. And that does not work well with me. Don't put me on hold without telling me. So, no, also keep in mind that twice I was offered a $10 credit and a refund for my Prime membership, which the first time didn't happen. The second time, I still haven't got my refund for my Prime and did get the $10 credit. Third time, he said he would do it again, acting like he never saw that it was done. I never got that. So I asked him, I said, can you send me this in writing, what you're telling me, like an email? So I got an email from an Amazon specialist who said that my box set was destroyed. And that day, Friday, continued on. And I was irate. So I took to social media and I said, hey, y'all, so there's a problem. There's a real big problem here. And I just shared my story, which Amazon asked me to submit a form. They contacted me on social media after I drugged them a little bit. And in my DMs, I said, hey, can you submit a form? So I did. I got 2 responses back. I said, we don't know what that guy's talking about. We don't see any reason why your package was destroyed. There's nothing to indicate that. It's fine. And I said, what do you mean it's fine? I said, I've been told 3 different things, one of which was my package is done. They said, he lied. It's fine. So that afternoon, my package suddenly showed up that afternoon, and it's here. So thank God in heaven it's here. I'm lucky to have them. I'm not complaining about the package being here because I wanted this more than anything. I grew up with this movie. The first ever horror movie I recorded on TV was this movie. But Amazon, y'all are awful. Y'all are terrible. You're terrible. This is yours. This was your exclusive and you couldn't manage it. You couldn't deal with it. No wonder they didn't release anymore because you would have probably fumbled every one of them. There are still people who don't have a delivery date. Amazon, figure your stuff out, or else, and I hate to say this, send your physical media to somebody like Diabolic, Orbit, Brother Belial, Monster Mall. There's so many places out there. Send them somewhere that can handle them. Again, thank y'all for letting me rant. Please share this story. Please comment. Tell me your story. Have you had some bad experiences with Amazon? I know Jeffman316 on these YouTubes has. I know there's a lot of people out there. Mid-level media, I've heard them all. Mid-level media got and I go watch his video on his Karate Kid Amazon exclusive, how that came. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Again, thank you so much for watching. This is Adam with Hypotear Media. Watch some media, consume some media, not from Amazon, but have a wonderful day.